Yes, okay. We will now, we're a little bit early. No, we're right on time. Perfect. We're going to have a judges training by our district chief judge this year. As Lucina mentioned, training is what Neila does for a living, and she's really good at it. Not only she's doing double duty today, she's doing a workshop and she's also training vice president of education. So please join me in welcoming distinguished Toastmaster Neila Scott.
Good morning, everybody. This is a fantastic day. I am so happy it's sunny, and I'm here to give you a nice um, speech, little training workshop about judges training. So I would like this to be a little bit interactive. So I will ask questions, and it would be nice for you guys to put it in. And Janice is saying she's still applauding for me. Thank you, Janice. You can put your answers on the chat. And I was really excited about what Lucina said. And I have to say, Lucina has been so busy. She's my partner. She was my partner last week on Duolingo. She didn't even show up. Come on, Lucina. So we know she's busy, guys. Anyhow, let's get started. I am going, let me just share my screen with you so we can get to see what is going on. All right, let's start. Why are we here, first of all, right? I hope you guys came because you want to be doing your best as a judge in the upcoming contests. When I first started Toastmasters in 2007, I really didn't know a lot about it, and Carol really helped me a lot. And again, we're mentioning Carol because she really does a lot, and she has really been a mentor to a lot of people. So, there are three purposes to speech contests. First of all, why do we do speech contests, right? This is a major question, and that's because people need an opportunity to practice competitive speaking, right? And also because this is the beginning at the club level, it's the beginning of a big journey all the way to district, hopefully. I have had the honor of being in a club with one of the, two district winners, Stefano Cosalter and Andrew Thompson. And Andrew Thompson was the winner of the international contest. He went all the way to Washington to represent District 96. So it starts at the club. So just a good reminder, that little contest in the club can take that speaker all the way to international, which is what happened to Andrew Thompson. So that's the first purpose. The second purpose is for you to provide interesting educational programs for members and the public. And this is an interesting one because I had a friend who loved contests. She was not a member, never became a member, but every contest season, she wanted me to invite her so she could come and watch the speeches and all that. That's a fantastic way for your club to also attract new people, getting to invite them to those contests. And the third one is to provide an opportunity to learn by observing proficient speakers. In our club, one of the things we do, as a matter of fact, I just sent yesterday a video of Stefano Cosalter's Tall Tale speech that won the district. This is a way for other members, new members, to see what they can get to, the level they can get to, and not just new members. For us, distinguished Toastmasters, to see how somebody did a speech in a completely different way that you never imagined was even possible. Now, the contest, because of all of this, they have to be conducted properly. And for all this to be a fantastic experience for everyone, we have to have good judges, right? That impart a feeling of fairness to the contestants and the audience. There's nothing more frustrating than when you see that someone should have won the contest, and not just your opinion, other people's opinions, and somehow that person places second. So people feel there's some sort of unfairness. And so that's the idea of the judge, to make sure that it is fair. Now, what are the obligations of the judges? So they have the obligation to the contestants, right? The contestants are entitled to a truly professional performance by each judge. They expect, and of course they deserve, fairness and impartiality. And you're there to make sure that this happens. Now, the obligation is also to Toastmasters International, because Toastmasters International has a reputation for speech training and also excellence in meetings and in speech contests. Now, if you are a bad judge, this of course is going to influence on that whole experience for regarding people's view of Toastmasters International. Now, the audience, like I mentioned before, the audience is expecting and audiences are they can be, in a good way, guys. I'm not judging audiences, but they can be very judgmental. So they know what they feel is best, even if they are not Toastmasters, they're going to go, but that was a better speech. So they also expect a certain amount of professionalism on the part of the judges. And finally, to yourselves as judges, you have a personal commitment to self-improvement, and that's another notch on your belt, that you have done something outside of your comfort zone, but you performed a fantastic job. Now, people are very used to evaluating speeches at their clubs, right? This is something we do all the time. But there's a big difference between judging and evaluating. When you're a judge, you're there to decide on what speech is the best speech should be winning that contest. And to mention Carol's advice, she usually says, and also someone that you know will be able to win that area and win a division and win a district. So that's you have to decide who is going to be that person who is going to be winning, right? That's going to be the winner. It's different. And also, judging is confidential. You're not going to go around telling people I was a judge in this, from as much as you would like people to think that you are some big shot. You're not allowed to go and go tell people that you were a judge in this contest or any other one. Don't want people, many reasons for that. One, people may say to you that, oh, I didn't win because she doesn't like me. Or there may be other things that people will infer from your being the judge. And judges don't explain their decisions to contestants because, first of all, they should know that you were a judge. Now, and judges shouldn't be giving advice. Now, when you evaluate a speech, that's a different story. You're there to make sure that somebody improves their speech, to make sure that to give positive reinforcement. That's the idea of evaluation. And how to tell people how their speech can be improved. That's completely different than judging. Judging is you're not talking to that person. This is it. Just remember that. You decide who's going to be the winner and you're not talking to the speaker, as opposed to evaluating where you're going to give advice. Any questions so far? Okay. So, oh, there's somebody on chat here. No, there's nothing.
No, I just put Stefano's Tall Tale YouTube.
Oh, you did. Yeah, it's
People
amazing.
were asking about it, so I put it in there.
Oh, yeah, you see, you mentioned Stefano's name, and there you go.
Yeah.
Uh, oh, somebody wants me to explain. You see, I have to tell you, my my font is huge. This will be a good video that you can say anything. Okay, fine. It's nothing, and it's not a question. Okay, so the judge's decisions are confidential. Important to know. Now, what are the characteristics of good judges? What should they be doing? So first of all, they need to be accurate. You have a commitment to making the correct decision. This is important to the contestants, really. I can't emphasize this enough. The contestants are there expecting to, they work on their speech, they expect to be judged accurately. And so they expect the judges to complete the judging form correctly. Fair. The judges should be impartial. And we're going to be talking about that in a minute, but it shouldn't be allowing friendship to or profession affiliation or anything like that. If you're somebody's fan, you shouldn't be allowing those people to those factors to affect your decision. You're there to judge a speech. It may be the person that you hate the most in life. If that person has the best speech, that's the one that's going to get your vote for best speech. Now, trustworthiness. Um, you have to understand the responsibility you have being entrusted with. People are expecting you to judge their speech in a fair way so that if they are the best speaker, they win. That's basically summarizing what it is. And knowledgeable. The judges should know the contest rules. Contest rules change. Why, I don't really know, but they do. So it's not up to me to judge why they change, but they do. So you need to know the contest rules and be familiar with the judging form and know how to judge properly. And another one that's very important is that good judges have to be good listeners. Of course, and not become distracted. It's very easy. And I don't know if this has happened to you, but it certainly has happened to me in life. Somebody's talking to you or you're watching a presentation, all of a sudden you start thinking about, somebody says something about bills and you start thinking about your hydro bill. Have I paid this hydro bill or not? Next thing you know, you missed like a whole chunk of the speech. So the idea is you need to be good listeners and really pay attention, concentrate on that, especially for contests that are online. Very easy for you to just pick up a YouTube or go on Facebook, start watching. Meanwhile, you think you can do two things, you can't. You really need to concentrate on what you're listening to. Now, there are some barriers to objectivity, and this is important to understand. Because if a person is the first speaker, right, you may just forget what that person did, how well, what they said, or what was interesting about their speech by the time you listen to speaker number 10. Or sometimes you remember the first speaker, but you're not going to remember the middle speaker. So it's important that as a judge, you take note. And this is another tip from Carol. When we used to have ballots that were paper ballots, like before COVID changed our lives, we actually used to have paper ballots. So those paper forms, the forms, you would fold them in a funny way and all that. And then you write down the first speaker, what this person did that you liked or what the speech was about. I actually do it in a big piece of paper. I write everything down, like what I liked, not as detailed as I would in an evaluation, but I do write some points of what I liked and what I think should be improved, just so I remember if I have 10 speakers, I remember number one, the first speaker. And the same goes for every speaker, of course. So I have to remember the middle people as well. So that's a disadvantage sometimes to the first speaker and a big advantage to the last speaker. Now, and we can't let this happen, right? The next one is the champion for the underdog. Oh my goodness, we all have a good heart, right? Canadians especially, good heart, and you feel so bad for that person. Oh my goodness. This person has been trying for months, years to be the champion. And this year is going to be the one. So I'm going to vote for that person, even though the speech is horrible. Can't do that, people. I know. I know. You have some people you want to give that person this gift, right? Not a good idea, okay? Because the people who are actually doing a good speech, this is going to be unfair to them. Going back to being unfair, that's where we go. Okay. Next one, the halo effect. Oh, same thing. This person is a saint. Oh my goodness, this person. It's like if Carol Murphy went to do a speech contest. And Carol is on everything. Carol does everything. Or Mark. Mark is another one. And they do everything. It's like, okay, they are great people. And not to say that they don't do good speeches, but if there are better speeches, but because it's Carol or Mark, Mark Harrell I'm talking about, then you go, oh, yeah, we're going to have to give to them because they are good people. They're good people, but are they good speakers in this contest? That's what you want to know. Okay. So that's important to pay attention to. This is a major thing. The next one is a reverse halo effect. Oh, joy. It's the other way around. This person has done something that really upset you. Whenever you encounter them, and I'm sure you guys have had people that you just can't stand, but these people also may be good speakers, and you have to be able to give them that opportunity to win a speech contest, whether or not they are good people, you feel like they are good or not. Nothing to do with anything. Okay. The next one is the second time around. This is a very similar to the champion for the underdog, really. You see that this person has come so close to winning. Oh my goodness, this is it. And this person has told you, secretly, or maybe announced to the whole world, who knows, that they need to win a contest, their dream. You can't do that, guys. You can't do that. This is are they a good speaker? If they are good, fantastic, the best speaker, yes, of course they get it. If not, not. Another one is not the norm. We in Toastmasters are very used to doing things in a certain way. We have the lectern in a certain place, and you're going to speak from behind that lectern, or you're supposed to be speaking on the stage, and somebody goes and speaks in front of the audience down below the stage, or whatever it is. Something that is not the norm. And you see that person doing something completely outside the norm, and you go, oh, not going to be a winner. Can't do that. Again, you have to concentrate on whether their speech is good, is the best speech or not, in order to decide whether they're going to be champions. If they're doing something outside the norm, it may be part of their speech. It may be their way of discovering a new way of presenting a speech. I don't know. It may be something creative on their part. So maybe we need to really keep an open mind. And the last one, prejudices and personal preferences. Yeah, sometimes this happens, I mean, not that there's anybody prejudiced around, but this happens to some people. And you can't just discard a person's best speech because of whatever prejudices you may have against that person or that group that this person belongs to. Okay. So conclusion. It all goes back to, is this a good speech? Yes. If it is, blind yourself to everything else and just put that person in, give that person the respect they deserve. There are 2 chats here. Is that anything for me? Can somebody check? Because my
Oh, no, you're all good.
My chat is huge,
Yeah,
huge
we'll
font.
we'll let you know if there's a question for you.
Please. Okay, great. Okay, so you should know the rules. There are a lot of people who, and I don't really understand, but I guess it is what it is. People invent things, you know. They tell you, for instance, that um, international speech contests cannot be funny, or you know, there are a lot of they have to be serious, or they can have to be motivational or inspirational. But the contest rules only say that the contestants have to create their own substantially original speech. That's what it is. So if it's a speech that is an anger speech, it is what it is. But it's not, it doesn't have to be serious. If it's a hilarious speech, it's okay too. If it doesn't inspire to go and save the world, it's fine as well. And you have to really understand the rules. That's why the rules are so important, because sometimes you just have those misconceptions and you go, oh, that speech was not inspirational. Next, you know, so that's not right. Okay. We need to really know the rules, you know, just when you have nothing else to do, if you're going to be a judge, go get that speech contest booklet and read it before you do anything. But I don't want to discourage anybody from actually becoming a judge in a contest. We all need you. You just need to understand that you have to be objective and understand the rules so you're not judging the wrong way. That's all. Okay. Any questions so far?
Neila, I'm just going to put the speech contest rule book in the chat for everyone.
Oh, yes, this is great. Thank you. All right. Okay, so now we have the next one is your judge's guide and ballot. So let's take a look at
Sorry,
this.
we do have a question, I think.
Oh, yes, please.
Anna? Yes.
Hi, thank you, Neila. During your training, can you also help me to define the speaking area for the speakers for a hybrid meeting?
Ooh, the speaking area for a hybrid meeting, meaning what? Where's the speaker? That's the first question.
Yes, the definition, like what is the speaker's area?
Yeah, but where's the speaker? Is the speaker speaking from online, or is the speaker speaking in person?
That's my question. Like, do we have two definitions for the speaker, depending on whether the speaker's online or in person, or do we have one universal definition for speaker's area? That's my question, because I'm not sure how to explain that in a hybrid meeting.
Donna, that's a good question, because really, do we know,
help?
Yarrow? Yes, please.
Can I help?
Yes.
Just something to remember too is that a participant will not get disqualified if they're not in a speaking area. So you want to try to remember the reasons that someone can get disqualified, and the speaking area is not one of them. Because it's hybrid, you're going to have people, especially for the international, Donna, it's, I think, more prominent to have a good video, because it's going to go at the district level, it's going to go to regional quarterfinals, that same video. So you don't want to be over here doing your speech. You want to make sure that you're centered and we're able to see your facial expression and your hand movements. And that's, like I said, it's for the international, and it's more prominent at the division level probably, and the district level, especially the district level, because it moves forward to the quarterfinals. As far as the in-person, because the division is hybrid, you just have to let everyone know as the contest chair where the stage is. Now, having said that, we like Neila said about not the norm, If you say, here's the stage, you know, that's where you have to speak from, and the person decides they want to walk off the stage and be amongst the audience, again, they cannot be disqualified if they're out of the speaking area. So I don't know if I've answered your question or not, but
it's a difficult one because you
it's
know
a
why,
difficult
Carol,
one.
too. If the judges are online and the speaker is in person, or the judges are in person and the speaker is online, there's so many variations on this. I think as long as the speaker is seen in a video, that should be their speaking. But it depends where your camera is. If it's far enough, you can use a big. So you need to know. It's a complicated question. It's a very complicated question. The speaker needs to be seen though by the judges. That's one thing. And to be seen by the judges means they're going to be on camera, and that will be helpful for the district. So the whole thing is being on camera is the key here, Donna.
Yeah, if I may, I
Yes,
think
Paul.
the important
Yes.
thing, it is for the benefit of the contestant.
Yeah.
Meaning, if a contestant is in person, we want to advise this person where is the good space where they will be seen, right?
Yes.
They may not know that on the left they are outside in a blind spot. They need to know, right? Same for online. So it's to the benefit of the contestant so that we don't lose contact with them.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
For
it's
sure.
not, it's not something that would disqualify the person, as Carol said.
Yeah. Like you said, benefit of the contestant it is. Oh, there's one more person. Yuri. No. No, you both of you. Are you asking a question? You're on mute.
Two things. One, there is a link that is pretty good one that Janice posted on the chat that
Okay.
have part of the answer that Donna did. The other thing, I'm sorry, I have the sun hitting me here.
That's
And,
sad, isn't it? In the middle of November.
Yeah. And, no,
But,
I love it. I mean, that's another story, but never mind. The one of the things I have learned with the groups online, okay, in international groups, is that they said you do this. I mean, you raise your elbows and place yourself in the center. I mean, I'm doing that deliberately. So
Yeah.
if you are within that triangle, you can be seen, you can talk, and you can do whatever you have to do. Okay,
Okay.
if you preserve yourself in that triangle. But put your hands elevate. But there are, for some speeches that you have to go far away. I mean, put this is in an angle, I mean, rectangle. So if you need to get far away, still preserve yourself within those black lines that beautifully the background has. And that is the idea. When somebody is with a camera, they preserve them on that part too.
All
Try
right.
to preserve yourself that on those lines. So
Thank you, Yuri. Donna, did we answer your question? Where's Donna?
Kind of. I didn't look at the chat to download what Janice put in because she said there's some of my answers are in there. So
yeah,
I hope so. Yes. If not, I will be emailing you some more, Neila.
Okay. Yes, please. Well, but it is a science, like Paul said. It's can this person be seen? And that's what it is. That will be their stage. Their if they're in person and the person, whoever is watching can see them moving around, great. If not, then that's not, it's can the person be seen should be my answer. Final answer. Can the person be seen? But let me know, Donna, if you have any more questions. All right. Anyone else? Two more people raised their hand. Ryan.
Hi there. I was wondering if we could actually go over some of the criterion just
Oh
because.
yeah, we're gonna get there, Ryan.
Cool.
It's next.
Very cool.
Ryan is really excited about this. Okay, Ryan, we're getting there. Okay, so let's continue. There are two sections on the form, right? The top portion. So this part here. I don't know if you guys can see my mouse, but the first part that says judges guide and ballot is where the judges are going to put the first at the top their names of the people. This is for the paper ballot, right? And then you have all the criteria, which I am going to talk about, Ryan, for sure. So that's your first part. This is where you're going to be writing your judging, pretty much how you feel the contestant did. But sometimes you may, the first speaker you think it was fantastic and you put all 10s, and then more people come in and you find somebody that did a better job. So don't be tied to what you wrote for speaker one, because if you felt speaker was 100 and someone else is 100, but you feel that person is better than speaker one, this is your personal thing. You're not gonna tell anybody how you got their numbers. But the bottom part is the judge's official ballot. This is where you're going to put first, second, and third place. This is what you submit, and you have to sign your ballot, and you have to print your name. Okay, so this is important. Without that signature, it's invalid. Okay. So let's continue on. The judge's guide. So how are you going to go and do all this? So first of all, you're going to take notes. You can take notes, find out what it was that was interesting, like I mentioned before, the title of the speeches, write down what you felt was best. Then you also have, use the points that you have, the point values for excellent, very good, good, and fair. The ballot itself will tell you at the back what it is that, what is the criteria you should be, what are the criteria you should be looking at, okay? So you should use those suggested points in that. And don't worry, we are gonna go each one of them. Now, you can use either points available in the range. For instance, if excellent is 20 points, judges can assign fewer points if the contestant did not optimize their their speeches. Pluses and minuses. You can use a system of pluses and minuses to rate the speakers as they compete. And then after all contestants have spoken, you can assign points. That could be, but I would never do it that way because I would forget unless you put plus and you put whatever it was. You could start with criteria for those criteria, and then you put plus or minus and you can explain what it is. That could happen. And of course, you're going to put the names of the contestants at the very top of the ballot. Now, let's take a look at the judging categories. There are 3 judging categories. We have the content, we have the delivery, and we have language. The content is 50% of the speech points, and it has speech development, speech effectiveness, and value. So what are the areas to consider? Let's talk about speech development. Did the speech have a clearly defined opening, body, and conclusion? Were the speaker's ideas presented in an easy to follow logical sequence? Did the speaker use effective transitions while moving from one concept to the next? And was the speech purpose clear? And for those of you who are going to be competing as speakers, those are the criteria you should be following to win, but this is not my thing right now. There's somebody else that will be talking about that. Effectiveness. Audience reactions, right? How did people react to it? Was the subject relevant to the audience? Was the subject presented clearly? What was the speech purpose? To entertain, to inform, to persuade, to inspire? And did the speaker achieve their purpose? Value. The speech value. Did the speaker have a substantive, logical, and clearly defined message? In other words, can you understand what the message was? Can you summarize that speech into a few words? Were the speaker's thoughts original? This is important, guys. If this person copied from anybody and you know it, we need to know. And was the speech in good taste? That's an important one, right? You can't be talking about things that are completely outside the bounds of good taste. Delivery is 30% of the speech points. And this is related to how was the content presented, right? So the first one is about the message. This one is how it was presented. So physical. So this goes to person's appearance, body language. Was the body language appropriate and purposeful? A use of speaking area to talk about Donna's situation there. The body language is also important because sometimes people exaggerate way too much. Oh my, what a wonderful day. So you have to kind of judge whether or not this is what is appropriate. Voice, flexibility and volume. Very important, guys. We all know this as Toastmasters. If I were here talking like a robot the whole time, you would have hung up by now. So you have to have flexibility and volume, right? Modulation to show emotion, adequate volume, enunciation, right? All this is important. Manner. Was the person confident, enthusiastic, and did they show concern for the audience? So this is your delivery part. The next one is language. Are there any questions? Everybody okay? There's like 9 messages on chat. Should be fine.
No, I'm just adding links for people.
Okay.
We'll let you know when there's a question.
Thank you.
There is one question
Please.
just came up, and it is, how do you define out of bounds for good taste? How do you define out of bounds for good taste?
Okay. Something like somebody is going pornographic on you, for instance. That's a very bad out of bounds situation, I find. Unless does anybody else have any other idea, but out of bounds. I go straight to that, to making people uncomfortable with sex. But anyone else can answer this question? Dan?
No, I was going to say somewhere on Toastmasters International site, and I'm just trying to find it on my other PC.
Yeah.
There are some verboten topics. And I would guess that if you were speaking on something that is considered inappropriate by the values and principles of Toastmasters,
yeah,
that would cause a problem.
Yeah. Can you, if you find it, can you please put it on chat?
Yes, I will.
I appreciate it. See, this is a teamwork. Love it. Okay. Continuing. Any other questions? Okay. All right. Correctness, grammar, pronunciation, word selection. Does the language reflect study and preparation? Effective word choices. That's very important. And also, of course, in this whole guide does not include a space for the speech time, right? The timing of the speeches is the sole responsibility of the timers, and the judges are not permitted to time the speeches and should not consider the possibility of undertime or overtime when they are judging the contestant's speech. This is important because a lot of people will perhaps choose someone else because they felt that person went overtime. Well, this is not something you should consider because you're not the timer. Okay. Conclusion. Well, the strongest principle of growth lies in human choice by George Eliot. And that concludes my presentation, mes amis. But I would like to know if you guys have any questions. I am 20 minutes ahead, even though I gave time for questions and everything.
So I did find that, and it is in the chat.
Yes, please.
And what they say is members often hear through the grapevine that speeches concerning politics, religion, and sex are forbidden because Toastmasters International, because such controversial subjects are not appropriate. Mm-hmm. This is not true.
Oh.
Toastmasters International does not prohibit any speech topic, content, or language. And then I put the link in for people to read the rest. But I would say that my guess is how you put it across.
Mm-hmm.
There would be a boundary for, you have to consider your audience.
Mm-hmm.
And so there are things, I can make a speech and it would be fine at the senior center. It would be inappropriate in an elementary school.
True.
So I think that would be one of the things that you might have to consider. And again, that is part of what being a judge is knowing the boundaries and then applying your comprehension of those boundaries.
Yeah, that's a good one. 3 people raised their hands. Who's the next person?
Only two. The first one's the timer.
Oh, sure. It's only 2.
Yeah.
Now 3.
Okay, now 3. Ryan was first.
Go, Ryan.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Yeah, Ali, if you can raise your hand. We've got people that raised their hand.
Ryan was going to ask his question first.
Was because some of the meetings might be hybrid. When it comes to stage presence marks and actually physicality, so things like that, should there be a difference in how the judges approach that?
No. The judges are not, whenever we give judges a briefing before the contest, we advise the judges that, sorry, Neila, I just jumped in.
No, please, no.
We advise that they're not to judge on the quality of the video or the quality of the audio, as long as the person can be heard. Not everybody has the means to have the best video or the best audio equipment. So they shouldn't judge someone that's online differently than someone that's in person.
With that though, Carol, if someone is their camera direct to face and we don't actually get any physicality or stage presence from them, should we automatically score that as a 0?
Most people though, whenever I've attended a contest, like right now, I'm sitting down talking to you, but the contestants generally, what they do is they actually stand up and they move back. So you could actually see their whole physical body, and you can see their gestures. And a way for the judges to get a better view is for either that speaker to be spotlighted, or the judges can pin that speaker, and then they get a better, they see their facial expressions and their gestures a lot better when the judges, so the judges are briefed to make sure that they pin the online speakers.
Last thing with that, Carol, then, can we make a recommendation to all people who are making use of hybrid models that they should be standing and we should be able to see their body?
We can certainly make a recommendation if we have someone that's disabled that cannot be standing for 5 to 7 minutes and they're seated. Again, you cannot get disqualified for that. So, you know, we have to be a little bit more lenient on people that may not be able to stand. Just like those people that are blind and they will not see the 5, 6, and 7 lights. So for them, we have to make an exception and say 5 minutes, 6 minutes, 7 minutes. So we do have to make sure that we do everything we possibly can to make it easy for each contestant.
Right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. So my turn.
Yes.
Yeah. When Dan was talking about some of the subjects that, you know, the misconception about the subjects that we shouldn't talk about, one of the examples is like politics. If you are so motivated and so dedicated to a certain political party, and your speech is about that political party, without knocking down another political party, then that speech is now appropriate, because you're not knocking anybody down. You're actually speaking on behalf of the Liberal Party or whatever, and you're, you know, it's all in good taste. So that was just an example I wanted to give on politics, if you're going to talk about politics.
And the same goes for religion. If you're just explaining about a specific religion, but you're not trying to convince other people that yours is better and the other ones are horrible, then it's okay.
Yeah, exactly. I just wanted to add that. And I will lower my hand, and then it's Paul.
I think it's important to explain who can enter a contest. So first of all, the club must be in good standing. The member must be in good standing. And if it is discovered later on that at any time during the flow of contests, the contestant was not eligible because they were not a paid member, for example, whatever happens, the contestant is disqualified of all titles. Now, for clubs chartered, the chartering must occur before the area contest, which is very important. And for international speech contests, the contestant must have acquired the first 2 levels of pathways, which is not true for the evaluation contest. Everyone is welcome in the evaluation contest. Back to you. Thank you.
Just to add to that too, Paul, if a club chartered a year, so Arkiak, who chartered in May 2023, if they want to enter the international contest, they can enter it without the level 2 requirement, because they're less than a year old when they're entering the speech contest.
Thank you.
Anyway, it's really important. I've put the rule book in there, but we'll talk about Ali, and then when Neila's finished, I'll add some more stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to consider 2 parts. First of all, about speech that you, Carol, said. If you consider IDA model, and at the end of our speech, we have call for change or an commitment to a specific action, or an invitation to share experiences to be more effective. So if someone want to deliver a speech politically or in religion, if they don't want to call for action and invitation or something like that. So they miss something in their speech.
Yeah, but you're talking about, okay, let's say you're a member of the Liberal Party and you're telling people how fantastic it is. Your call to action would be come and take a look at come to one of our meetings to see what we do, or that you could have a call to action. If you're talking about a religion, let's say Buddhism, and how wonderful Buddhism is and whatever, you can say, please read this book, you can learn more. So you can have a call to action.
Yeah, or change, or share their experiences. If they want to deliver effectively, they need to.
Yes, you can show it. What we're talking about, Ali, isn't not talking about the religion. What we're saying is you can't go in and say Buddhism is better than Christianity because Christianity has this, the other that's bad. You're going to be talking about how wonderful Buddhism is, and that's it. You're not going to knock down another religion. That's what it is that we're saying.
Yeah.
So your call to action can be come to one of our meetings for you to see what it's like, or go read a book so and so. But you're not going to be knocking other religions. This is what we're talking about.
Yeah, technically it's something delicate in this situation.
Very delicate. That's why we try to avoid it. That's why we try to avoid it, my friend.
Yeah. Other than that, it's about a table topic. How can we deliver technically? Because table topic speech is off the cuff, and how we can approach to deliver a good table topic is that a special or specific technique approach to deliver a good table topic speech, because it's it's somehow off the cuff. All of a sudden you ask the question and you want to put yourself together and deliver a good speech, and it's difficult.
We're just going to stop you right now, Ali, because the two contests that we're talking about this year is the evaluation and the international. So we're not actually doing table topic contests this year, but if you want to stay, when we go for the break, if you want to stay for a few extra minutes, then we can answer your question on table topics.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, and back to you.
Thank you.
All right, so that concludes my presentation, everybody. I hope to see you, those of you who are VP Ed training later on. Back to you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Neila. I know that judges training is a little bit of a dry subject, but Neila always puts in such great humor into her presentations. I always appreciate any training